My name is Cypher Morrison, and this is This Week in Car Audio. Tune in. This Week in Car Audio. Tune in. We'll be talking about bass, talking about chips, talking about rings. You ain't got them, zip your lip. You got a problem you haven't found, check your grounds. The show about to start. Tune in. This Week in Car Audio. Yeah. Tune in. This Week in Car Audio.
Dave's good to go. Lucky, good to go. All right, guys, watch me for your start. Ready, set, go. Lucky's going to be in the 39. Dave's going to be in the 29. We're 9.2 over here, 9.4, 9.5, 9.7, 9.6, 9.6 apiece, 9.7 apiece, 9.8 apiece, 9.8 apiece. 13 seconds left. 9.7, 9.8, 9.8, 9.6. 9.7 apiece, 9.7, 9.7 apiece, 9.7 apiece, 9.7 apiece, 9.8 apiece, 2 seconds left, 9.9, 9.9 apiece. Oh, somebody's losing half their points. We have a tie. We got a 10-second extension. 4 seconds left, 9.8 apiece, 9.8 apiece, 9.8, 9.9, 10 more second extension. 9.9, 9.9 apiece. 4 seconds left, 9.8 apiece, 9.8 apiece, 9.8 apiece, 9.9 apiece. Oh! And then Lucky bust out with a 40. And Dave goes to a 9.9 perfect score. We had a 3-time extension.
All right, I'm here with Lucky McGovern of DB Drag and Base Race fame, Top Dog. How you doing, Lucky?
Good. How about yourself?
Hey, so the video we just saw, I know Lucky couldn't see it, but the video we just saw was Lucky going against Dave Bradshaw. I showed it to him earlier today. It went to 3 extensions. It happened to be the Stockton Beatdown Show, which is an event that Lucky put together it was also our West Coast finale. So it was the second weekend in September of this previous year. Last weekend of the year to get points. And like I said, that was a Stockton Beatdown Show. Really cool show. This one here, because somebody might have forgot to put you in the Top Dog during the first Stockton Beatdown.
I don't know who it was, man. I was pretty upset. I was like, who could have that been? Who could that be?
I can blame anybody I want, but yeah, when it all comes down to it, I probably should have put you in there.
Shit happens, man. Still a fun event. We had a lot. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're breaking up a little bit, but it's not horrible.
Okay. Well, shit, that sucks. It was a good event, man. We had a really good turnout there. I had a lot of fun. I really wish I could have done Top Dog, but it was still a good event. So yeah.
Yeah, no, like I said, it was a lot of fun. Definitely are doing a lot of stuff. I noticed online that you are doing your something to do with the tattoos and a potential documentary or something.
Yeah, so there was a group of us, known each other for a long time, and was in like the punk rock scene, hip hop scene, all kinds of stuff. We all was together. And so I got hit up by a buddy of mine, and he's like, we want to do this, like, it's a YouTube thing. They started one episode already. It's called Tattoo This. So if you want, you guys can go on there and check that out. We all was together. And so I got hit up by a buddy of mine, and he's like, who also wanted to just like brought me into the tattoo. It's a YouTube thing. They started one episode already. It's called Tattoo This. So if you want, you guys can go on and check that out. A couple years ago, and was together. So we're kind of doing. And so I got hit up by a documentary thing in memorial to him, and also about the times that we all shared in that shop that I'm tattooing in today. And so I was like, that's awesome. Let's do it. So, and then they're also going to carry it on to other tattoo shops and, you know, stuff like that. So it's really, really cool. I'm glad that we're able to do this. So
that's cool. So it's a fusion between hip hop and tattooing then? Is that, I mean,
punk rock, hip hop,
okay,
like all that stuff, you know, it all tied together, art, tattooing, you know, because one of the guys that's going to be in the documentary, a good friend of mine, Ernie Mancuso, he had several punk rock bands that he was in. And there was hip hop groups. There's a whole bunch of us, like when he was in a punk rock group called the Shambles, you know, and if anybody from Stockton's ever heard of like Doja Click, really, really popular group, you know what I mean? And they toured with them and did shows with them and stuff like that. So yeah, it all just kind of intertwines. And with my cousin, you know, who passed away by marriage, I got to keep saying that. Being involved in it is just, it's awesome. I'm really, really happy to be doing it. So we did some filming the other day. I did a live feed of like some behind the scenes shit or whatever, but I can't wait to see it. I think they said it's going to be done within a couple weeks, maybe even earlier. I mean, if you go on YouTube and put in Tattoo This, you'll see their one interview that they just put up, I think yesterday. And I mean, they're really killing it with the editing and all that stuff. And it's pretty funny. He used a spatula, has a microphone. So it's pretty, you know, throw a little humor in there or whatever.
Okay. So it's called Tattoo This, and it's going to be distributed through YouTube, right?
Right.
So it's not like we're going to have to go see it on Disney Plus or anything, right?
No, this type of shit you don't see on Disney. A lot of crazy stories.
Yeah.
So however they edit it, it's going to be short, like 15, 20 minutes, something like that. So it's going to kind of get shrunk down, but yeah.
Yeah, I know. Just real quick, see people in the chat. I got Grant Stapleton. He tuned in last time also. He's all the way from Australia. So we're going halfway around the world with this stuff.
Sweet.
I see Dave Bradshaw in here. Said, "What's up, guys?"
What's up, Dave Bradshaw?
There's a gentleman I bowl with. His name's Mike Fight. I see him on here watching. So Mike sends me a short video clip today of somebody getting. It was Danielle getting a hair trick in the Green Monster, right? In Gately Audio's Green Monster. He's all, how do you drive around town when you're listening to music like this?
Fucking full tilt, man. Full tilt.
Hey, Josh Tattoo just chimed in, says what's going on.
What's up?
Sean Scott, yo, what good all? So yeah, no, I explained to Mike that in general, a lot of those vehicles that he sees with the massive hair tricks, a lot of those videos are really people that have
trick.
You know, they're purpose-driven vehicles. It's not something they usually typically drive around in daily. I know you did with yours,
right.
But like the Green Monster.
Yeah, totally joking. Like, you know, the Green Monster and several other vehicles, they're not daily drivers. I was on full tilt, but I was on a different level. You know, when you got a truck like that, you're definitely not driving around on full tilt. It's probably not even drivable. You know what I mean? To drive through. So, yeah. Yeah.
So he's, you know, ignorant's not the best word, but he has a lack of knowledge about what we do. He's tuning in today. I sent him an email or something, and he's all, Sonic FX, what's that? So he starts looking me up on YouTube and stuff, and you know, I got a fairly long line of YouTube stuff that I've been involved with, you know.
Right.
So, but anyway, so we're gonna get to it. In general, you guys may know, Lucky kind of is helping me out with the podcast here. Once again, I'm using his account still because, you know, I go on there and it's already paid for. I'm not sure how long he paid for it, but I will continue to use his Zoom account until it's not paid for anymore, until it tells me it's right.
Whatever I can do to help. There's got these videos, and there has to be, you know what I mean? Even though I stopped doing the Basehead Diaries, there's got to be videos. You know, I felt that way from the beginning. I personally, maybe there was other people doing it. I didn't see it being done. and I wanted to do it. Now that I'm not doing it, people need to, carry the torch, man. This stuff's good stuff to have, and especially look back, years later and have something to look back on, man. That's awesome, dude. That's awesome.
Hey, your favorite people from Barbados just chimed in.
That's family right there. Tristan and Tiffany. Yeah.
Yes. No, good, great people.
Uncle Lucky said hi, by the way.
Yeah, I still talk to him once, maybe twice a week still. Working out some stuff. I'm trying to get them to help me from a long distance of, how does this look? How does that look? And try and fine tune some stuff for this podcast. Another thing I'm really working on is I am putting these podcasts, downloading them and putting them on my website.
Twitch?
No, I'm gonna start with my website so I can upload them to iHeartRadio or something like that as audio only broadcast.
Nice.
So that's the next step, and then it'll be Twitch.
Yeah, it's a good thing, because there was a lot of people that were, when I was doing Basehead Diaries, when I stopped, there were people that were like, man, I used to listen to you on the way to work, or whatever. I was getting ready. That's what I would listen to, the next day, so that's good.
Yeah. Like I said, so I don't think I know the format that I'm using is tips and tricks and mistakes that we made is the focus, really.
Yeah.
And, not that you say I'm saying you were making mistakes, but I was learning right along with you, right? So I'm
right.
trying stuff out and trying to help you do stuff. I'm looking up stuff and you're looking up stuff, and it was your baby, absolutely 100%. I helped a little bit where I could, but yeah. So I was helping, and with that help, I'm learning, and I'm taking those and I'm trying to incorporate them into my now podcast.
Right.
So, which is all great things.
Yeah.
So let's get back to it. Your main formats is you actually did all 4 of the formats, which is DB Drag, Base Race, Top Dog, and Cyclone.
So at the end of it, I stopped doing Cyclone.
Yep.
But in the beginning, I was doing all 4 formats. And it was fun, man. Loved it. Took points leader of the world, 3 out of 4 of them. And I was second place in the 4th one, so had a good little run there real quick.
Yeah, that was very awesome. You did a great job. If anybody says anything different, I would strongly disagree. You did more for DB Drag on the West Coast with your podcast, your live feeds, and your videos than any one person that I can think of.
I appreciate it.
Gary did a lot, but I do believe you were the next step up from Gary. I believe that to be true. So I think you did a great thing for the community, for the industry, as a whole. So I appreciate that from you.
I really appreciate that compliment. Thank you for the kind words.
Yeah. So Josh says Smash is playing. If you know all about Smash, right?
I'm super pumped to see what he hits, man. I'm super pumped. I'm bummed out it didn't work at the last show, but I know, it's going to do good. And I can't wait to see, man. I hope it does a 195 or some crazy shit. No, he's been putting a lot into that truck, and I know the guys in Reno have been helping out a lot. And he's a super cool guy, super humble, 100% honest. I'd like to say he's probably the most honest and humble guys I've met in car audio. Super humble, man. So I can't wait to see what it does.
And I will say, very similar to you, his heart's 100% into it, and he only wants what's best for everything, right?
Exactly.
So he doesn't want to create problems. He wants to grow the sport. It's very similar to what you did.
Yeah.
So that's
yeah.
cool.
I made mistakes down the line, and I've had my talks with him also. You know, we even joked about it. It's like, you know, he watched the things that happened with me and was like, you know, I know now what to watch for and look for, you know, and I'll tell him, like, you know, there, you have to, because it'll bite you in the ass, you know. So I'm glad his heart is where it should be, you know, and as long as he keeps it there, it'll be great, you know.
Oh, absolutely. You know, I love this thing. I've been doing it. I actually started competing in '98.
Right.
Became a judge in 2001. Guy Breezy says he loves my background.
Yeah.
The virtual backgrounds or Zoom are pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I can't take any credit for that. This is 100% Salise's doing that in the background for the podcast. You know, I give Salise a general idea, and man, she's quick, turns it around.
In 2 minutes, you got something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like everybody would hit me up and they'd be like, who did your flyers? I need a flyer. And I'd be like, dude, Salise loves doing it. You give her your idea, and in like 10, like, I'm not even exaggerating, man. If she's not busy right then, you'll have a flyer in like 10 minutes. It'll look awesome. You're just like, how the hell? Like, damn, you know? So yeah, I get it.
You know what? I may just skip over the Wayne interview and go straight to Salise one of these days.
Yeah, right.
Go with the real, the backbone of the industry, right?
Right. Wayne, Salise is awesome. Big, I tip my hat off to them, man. They've been real nice to me, and yeah, good people, man. Good people.
Yeah. All right, so back to it. So you quit doing Cyclone. What kind of, you know, preceded that? What made you stop doing Cyclone by itself?
I was, you know, and then I learned at the end I would have been fine. That Pit Bull amp is a beast. I mean, it's a beast. It was
hold on a second. That's a 20,000 watt amplifier from DC Audio. So if you guys didn't know what a Pit Bull he was talking about, it wasn't his dog named Fido.
Yeah, right. So yeah, and even though I'm not competing no more, I'm not on the team no more, whatever, as you can see, I still rep that DC. But anyway, back to that. So yeah, so I went from running the 10K DC Audio, and having the level 6 18s, 3 of them, to running 3 Neo 18s and then a 20K Pitbull, right, DC. And with the 10K, my battery was fine, never had no issues, no nothing. That Pitbull, a whole different ball game. So to be honest with you, I was just scared. I was watching my volts drop, you know, and I was like, I don't know if I could do, what is it, 30 seconds, 60 seconds straight? What is
60 seconds for the demo class.
So, to be honest with you, that was my fear. I was like, I don't know. I'm not trying to blow shit right now, you know? But I later learned out I would have been fine, because when I went to either Ayahuasca or Mecca, I don't really understand those orgs really. So it was one of those that I did, but I did the base boxing. So whatever that is, where you have to do, it's 30 or 60 seconds. I want to say it's 60 seconds straight, and then a 10-second break, and then 60 seconds again, 10-second break, 60 seconds again. Yeah. And I won. I was going against Anthony.
Yeah, I believe it's 3 1-minute rounds is exactly what it was.
Yeah, and so I stomped on Anthony Caps and won. I got the little boxing gloves, but then I realized, I was like, fuck, I could have Cyclone this whole time. They handled, nothing blew, everything was good. So, but you know, that's why I stopped doing it. I was really afraid that I was going to just, you know, fry stuff up, you know, so I kind of took it easy or whatever.
So what, any tips for Cyclone, since we're on that one?
Well, Cyclone, I haven't done that in quite a while. So to be honest with you, so obviously it's a point or a hertz thing. You know, you got the points. Lower you play, the more bonus points you get.
Correct.
But as far as tricks and tips on that one, it's pretty, you know, just find a song that's going to hit where your system can play to the lowest hertz for 60 seconds, you know, and that's really it. You know, my whole thing with like bass race and Top Dog and all that. Now, you know, I got little.
We'll get to those.
Yeah. So as far as Cyclone, I don't think, just to me, I can't remember like a secret I could tell somebody or a tip that I could tell somebody for Cyclone. It's just really a points thing. And as far as, the lower hertz, what is it? 10, each 10 hertz down. It's like a
1 point extra, 1 point dB for every hertz you are below 80 hertz.
There you go. So yeah, I mean, it's been quite a while since I've done Cyclone. So,
okay.
But I did good when I was doing it. I remember that. I always I took something home.
Well, we're gonna do DB drag next, then base race, and we'll save top dog for last. So
okay.
So Cyclone, you really don't have much. You just big deal is you got to start your music before we start the meter, right? So don't wait for the meter to say go.
And wait for the meter to say go. Have your shit ready to go, and make sure it's consistent bass. I've seen people get in the lanes and they'll play a song that, seconds in, it'll start hitting. But then sometimes I've seen people play songs where it's hitting real, real good, but then it has this like pause and then it starts hitting real good. You don't want none of that. You want that consistent bass from Jump Street until the end, play it, boom, it's on, hit the horn and let that shit ride until it's no more left to go timer wise. So that's it. That's one of the things people I've watched do was play a song, hit hard, but they'd hit play and the bass was either too far away, or it wasn't consistent hard bass. So that's on that.
But then also remember, don't play it from your phone. Because your competitors are going to call you during the middle of your run.
Yes, which is why I have a whole separate phone, even though I didn't do none of my stuff from my phone. My separate phone was for when I give demos, nobody called me. But that's why I have a phone down here. It's on, I can call, whatever, but nobody has that number. And then I have my other phone. So, but when I'm competing, though, it's CD or flash drive all the way.
Yeah. And that's going to be throughout all formats, That's
right.
That's a universal thing. All right, let's go to DB drag. Talk about the class that you competed in and why you were there first.
So when I first started competing, I was pro stock 5K. And then I bumped up in power, and I think that put me in pro stock no limit. And that was because everything was stock as far as my pillars and so forth. And then I went, what was it? Let's see. I think I got that backwards. Pro stock no limit because everything was stock, but now the power was gone. So then you could have as much power as you want. So that's when I switched over to that because when I did 5K, when you start rolling on that knob, you got to really watch out, and some people might like that because it's kind of like that base race factor where you got to have control, but I didn't want that. I wanted to see the highest number I could hit without, oh shit, there I go. I just went over 5K, which happens,
right?
But yeah, so doing pro stock no limit was a lot of fun. What took me out of, what's the one before pro stock? Because I know what put me in pro stock.
So there's street stock.
So
there's
street
pro stock, and then you went to no limit.
Yeah. So street stock. What took me out of that and put me in pro stock is because I siliconed my back windows.
That's incorrect.
That's incorrect.
That's what put you in no walls.
No, I did pro stock no limit.
Yes, but then you had to go to no walls for a while. Because you had your windows.
What's that my last? Wow, it's been a while. My last one was pro stock no wall.
That's right.
That's
correct.
Pro stock no wall. You're right. Wow.
No, not pro stock. It was super street no wall.
Okay, super street no wall.
So you were going up against Tonko Moya and Ricky Garcia.
Sorry guys, it's been a minute, man. It's been a minute. I'm slipping all up on that. But yeah, so the silicone in the windows is what bumped me out of that class.
Yes, sir.
I didn't know that was a rule. I even did, to prove that, I even did live feeds talking about how I did it and everything. But then Doug Stockton was like, hey, that don't fly, got to do this. And I'm like, shit, no problem. All right, I'll go into that class. I did not do that to cheat in any way. But yeah, so watch out, guys. If you go to seal off those windows, it's going to bump you out of that class. The reason I had done it was because Tahoes are notorious for this. I've seen several people that compete with Tahoes. As soon as they're burping or doing demos, their back window will creep down about 1/4 of an inch.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen several Tahoes do that. And I was like, okay, what could I do? You know, and that's what I went to my window guy who I was sponsored by. And I was like, hey, like, what do you recommend? Like, can we silicone it off? And he's like, let's do that. We did it and it worked. It was perfect, but bumped me out of my class.
Okay. All right. So that was DB drag. That's one of the classes that you had your points champion, right? So what did you get? You got it in DB drag and what else?
DB. The only one I didn't get it in, I think, was base race.
Wasn't that Nyman? No, it wasn't Nyman.
I believe it was Nyman. I could be wrong, but I think it was Nyman that got me in base race. So I was second place. I believe it was Nyman, even though I beat him at the last show. Yeah,
he'll challenge you anytime.
Yeah, I'm out that game.
So okay.
Actually, when I beat him, he was trying to pay me to go again.
Oh.
Like, yeah, I was like, nope. But
that's a big feather in your cap, beating Nyman in base race. So
yeah, I beat him a few times.
So
that's what's fun about it. That's what's fun about it, though, is because you literally you can be a 15 world champion, whatever, and go against a guy who just started, and he might get your ass. You know, that's what I loved about base racing and Top Dog is it really was. It's like boxing or anything else.
Mm-hmm.
Every dog has his day. You know, sure. So I loved it. That was my favorite, Top Dog and base race.
Okay, so now we're here. Well, let's talk about it. A little base race stuff, right?
So do we want tips or tricks that I had for
for DB drag? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Tips and tricks for DB drag, and then hey, a big deal is the errors, because this way we can try and help people that may be listening to this for the first time, or may even be the people from the Barbadians. You know, they haven't quite got into DB drag yet, but they plan on doing it soon when the COVID stuff gets lifted. And this way you can probably help them not make the same mistakes you did. And so that's right. A lot of what I'm trying to do with this podcast also. So go ahead and share with us tips, tricks.
So with DB drag, it's just going to be obviously your vehicle. Every vehicle is different. So what I tell you, what I did with mine will not even work with the same vehicle as mine, because there is different everything. You know, everything's a factor. I don't think that you could get the same year as mine and do the exact same shit to it and do the same number. There's going to be something that's going to change. But what helped me, or I'll just say this for anybody who's doing DB drag, take notes religiously. I mean, I have so many notes. So when my second show that I did, I still don't know who he was, right? But he came up and he told me, he was like, listen, you're new, right? I said, yeah. He said, listen, take notes of every single thing you do and do every single thing you can. And I didn't start doing that, actually. I just blew it off. I was new, like, whatever. You're taking it way too serious, you know? And then I got bit by that bug. So take notes. Open your glove box and do one thing at a time. Don't do 10. That's another thing I learned. That was one of my errors. Do one thing. Open your glove box. Burp it. See what it does. If it didn't gain, then write that down. It didn't gain. If it gains, write down what it gained. You know, my gains came from my center console up, my passenger side visor down, aimed like all the way down to where the air goes straight to the mic. And then my back seats folded up. Now, those were my gains, and that took months and months and months of just writing everything down. I took it all the way down to the temperature it was outside and the time, because we all know temperature, you know, humidity, like everything's going to be a factor.
Altitude.
So I even wrote down the temperature. I wrote down, hey, Reno show this time, this is what I hit, you know, because that's all going to play a big role. Errors, don't deaden every single little thing, or don't, you know, take it one, like Alan Dante told me, you know, like one little thing. Don't deaden all your doors, deaden half of one. You know what I mean? If you see it go up a little bit, deaden the other half, If it goes up a little bit, you're good. Start deadening the back one a little bit. And, you know, I learned that the hard way, you know?
Yep. Even like a single door at a time, right?
Right.
Huge difference. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't even know how to tell you. I mean, the kind of stuff I did. When I was building an extreme car, we actually to eat up volume inside the box, which you know is this was 99 2000 ish, and we were building an extreme car, and we were one of the first fourth order extreme cars out there. And to take up volume, I was literally putting a single brick inside the car, testing it.
Right. I've heard of
Single
2x4s with bricks, just little
Yep.
pieces.
Yep. So I mean, I completely understand what you're saying, and it's like you said, it's very, very important. You do not do 2 or 3 things at once. Don't change your RCA cables, change your ohm load, and
Right.
you know, change a subwoofer.
Right.
Okay. All of that is going to create problems, right?
Right.
So,
So I've even heard, now I haven't seen it done. I haven't done it myself. I've even heard of people putting sand in their box.
yes, sir.
And and wherever the sand rests when you're done, that's your air pockets. You want to fill those in because that's where the air's catching and you're stopping that smooth airflow coming out, you know? So yeah, I mean, it's countless hours in testing. I spent hours, man. The last, like, I'd say 6-7 months that I was doing this, I was every day going and parking in the old Kmart parking lot and hours out there moving my steering wheel, moving my close this vent, not that vent, close all vents, just constantly testing.
Yeah. Just a quick heads up, Cavallo from Reno. I know you were talking to him earlier today. Says, hey, what's up, Lucky?
Yep. Thank you. You know, I tried to call Justin, man. But anyway, and Rusty. So, actually, I had to make a quick pit stop in Reno and then fly straight back. And I was like, man, I need to get me another smooth DC hat. So Cavallo, thank you. He ran over there, snatched me up a hat, brought it to me at the spot that I was at because I had to fly back to Stockton. So big shout out to him, man.
Thanks.
Another really cool guy, humble guy in the game. So yeah.
Okay, so that pretty much covers the TV drag section. Now we're gonna start where we talk about a lot of the fun stuff, right?
Yeah.
So let's go to base race first. I mean, personally, Top Dog's my favorite. Okay?
Top Dog's my favorite too.
Okay, so let's go to base race first. Tips, tricks that you may have had for base race.
So first and foremost, I would say this: for any of this that we're talking about, any of it, and I'm not getting paid to say this, I'm not making nothing off this, I'm not getting nothing out of this, I'm done competing right for now. Who knows what happens 10 years from now, but buy a term lab. My best runs were when I was using a term lab because you could sit in your garage or in a parking lot and learn all this shit on your own. But here's some tricks.
Okay, so I just want to sit on top of that with what Killian said last week was not only have a term lab, but put an external monitor on that because that external monitor reads differently than a laptop does. So you'll get dialed in on your laptop and the external monitor might be slightly different.
Well, I can say this though, it's still going to give you that roundabout.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Well, I could say that.
Yeah.
So even though it's a little bit different of a reading, it's still going to give you that right there where you should be at.
Yeah.
So the way I did it is I've seen a lot of people start off where right when they start, they're at like bang, like right now, whatever class they're doing, they're at that 9 point something, like right now. I didn't do it that way. I felt safer. I would, so find your song, whatever you're going to use, make sure it's consistent bass. Once again, you don't want those long pauses. Find notes. Find the volume you're at, have it ready to play, power on, volume, the exact number, everything ready to go. And I didn't mark it because I had the little arrow on mine. Shout out to SPL Cartel for the bass knobs. I had an arrow on it, and I would know where to put that arrow to where when I hit play, it would be at a spot where I would be at the 0.9 something within the 10 seconds. So I would just sit there I'd be holding it, but I wouldn't be doing nothing. I wouldn't move it. And I'd watch it climb, and then you watch it slowly climb. And then right when it's about to stop is where then I would go in with my knob and go up a little bit. So, but to each their own, because some of those guys, they jump out at that 9 something right off the gate and they maintain. So that's what they did. Works perfect. Mine, I did it differently. But the biggest thing I would say to anybody is make sure you got your right song, right volume, knob in the right position, and your windows are sealed up. Because I've watched that too. And don't open your damn door until the timer is done for all of the above. So yeah, and as far as like moving the seats and all the other stuff, that to me was more DB drag. That Ace Race is different. Also, what I did, call me crazy, I don't know, but I also turned my AC on just the set. This is how sick with it I got. I found that putting my AC on notch 2, right, which might have nothing to do with nothing, but it worked for me. I found that worked good when I did my base race and Top Dog. I shut it off. My numbers were a little different. So, but yeah.
So, with that being said, there is things like when a passenger sits in your vehicle, like in the back of the seat or whatever, that changes things. Altitude changes your base race score drastically.
Yep. And that's what I tell people too, is like, you know, there's like 1X shows or anything like that, you know, the 1X shows and stuff where a person might get a back seat or whatever, right? It's gonna drastically change it. So if your knob was a quarter of the way up, you better go down, because it's gonna go one way or the other. You're either gonna bust out quick, but no matter what, I can guarantee you it's nothing close to even what it was without anybody in the car. So,
but if you have a meter, you can learn all that, and you can learn where to adjust it, right?
Exactly. That's why I stressed everybody, get a term lab. That was the best move. I'm so mad that I didn't do that from Jump Street, get a term lab, because that's where I figured everything out. You know, instead of going to a show, you know, you're paying, you're going to this show, and then you get your qualifying. That's where you just learned that. Instead, go be at your house, spend a couple days just screwing with stuff, you know, and then you go to the show, you already know, I got to be on track to this, volume this, knob here, make sure my fucking power button's on my amplifier, and then bang, you're good to go.
Yeah.
Because I've made that mistake a few times, and I don't care how good you are, I've watched everybody that's really, really, really good do this at shows, not having the volume up or the wrong track. You know, those are the ones that's gonna happen. But if you just make sure when you get up there, make sure your power is on your amp and all that stuff, and rock it.
Okay, so what mistakes have you made in Top Dog? In base race?
Those were my good ones, man. I try to stay in the zone as much as I can and don't mess with nothing till my next run. The problem is, you got people that are going to come up to you, they're going to talk to you, this, that. So you might turn your radio down. Now you're talking to them. Now it's your run again. You go up there and you got your knob where it's supposed to be. You see that your power's on your amp, and you go play, and you go, why the hell isn't the screen moving? Why ain't it moving? And then you go like this, and your volume's all the way down. And you're like, and then you, as we know, base race and Top Dog, if you ain't on your game from the jump, you might as well just throw in the towel right there, because you know it happened. You know what? Let me correct that.
Yes, right.
I don't know. Joshua McDaniels, somebody that was new, they started and had nothing, and they gunned it, and it got to the last second, and they hit that 9-9 on the last second and won. And everybody there went ape shit. It was like, oh my God, we're watching him climb so quick, and we're like, he ain't gonna make it. And at the last split second, he hit that 9-9, and everybody just went ape shit. That was one of my favorite moments of competing, was watching that accident happen. I was like, that's insane.
Yep. Yeah, Tyler Archer says, yeah, you can make mistakes if you have headroom, right? So
Right.
if you're only doing a 142, don't try and do the 139.9 base race, because if you don't nail
Right.
it, you ain't gonna
Yeah.
make it.
So absolutely, if you have the power, you can make that mistake and gain real quick. But it's very rare that you see it. Like I said, I've only seen it once where somebody started off with nothing and caught up, maybe twice.
Yeah.
But that guy won 9-9. I was like, oh my god. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say the biggest mistakes I see in base race is somebody goes to hit play and they put track forward or track back.
Yeah. So that's one of those things where I have my finger right there where it needs to be. I have it paused and I have my finger there, and you just got to kind of be confident. I think I would more or less listen to you say go versus watching the screen. I would listen to you say go and play, and then I'm on the go, right?
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yep.
So, but yeah, so many people have done that. I mean, I've probably done it a couple times where, in the beginning, I'll say I haven't done that in a long time, but I would see people accidentally hit the next track,
Yep.
in a song, or just be way out of their tune.
Yep.
Wrong frequency. Yeah.
Yeah. And like you said, base race, it is totally different if you're playing at Reno, which is 4,600 feet, versus when you're playing in Sacramento at 100 feet of elevation, right?
Yep.
The way your number moves, up in Reno for a lot of systems, it kind of jumps around, and in Sacramento it's a lot smoother.
Yeah.
So, a suggestion I would have is, if you do have a meter, you can go, when you go to change of altitude.
Yes.
You get an opportunity.
That's when you start seeing the real dudes versus the guys that are, either up and coming and don't know or whatever. But that's when you're with the real dudes and I used to think it in the very beginning. I'd be going, I'm like, this guy brought the term lab with him. Yes, he did. So he could find out, I'm at this altitude. What frequency do I need to be at? Or where do I put my knob at for base race? Duh. You know what I mean? But in the beginning, you kind of think, man, that's too much. You take it too seriously. Then I learned about it. That thing went everywhere I went, And then people are, hey, you got your term lab. I need to use it. I need to store a meter. And I'm like, okay, well, hopefully you invest in one.
Yep. Jeremy Creamer, he's the judge for Alabama. I keep forgetting if he's Alabama or Florida, but I remember this time. He's from Alabama, and great guy. I've went and helped him do some of his shows back east and stuff. But anyway, his question was, how's the song quality affecting the guys out west?
How's the what?
Song quality score, the SQ.
Yeah. So that was throwing people off. I didn't have a problem with it, I don't think. I think it happened to me once or twice. Now, if you remember me saying, that's why I wasn't the guy to start out at 9 something. I started where I knew it would take me 10 seconds to get there, which that's, as long as you get there within the 10 seconds, you're good. So that's why I started off the way I did. So I've seen a lot of guys, they're really getting upset. What can you do? You got to adapt. If this is a new rule, why are you going to bitch about it? Either don't do it no more or adapt. Learn how to do it. That's your choice. So I found, okay, and I had it happen a couple of times, sound quality, boom, okay, shit. All right, well, instead of jumping up there right now, I'm going to start here. And then I know I got my room to play, and then go from there. So yeah, some people get upset, but with anything else, I've seen people get upset at any new rule came, they get all mad. What are you going to do?
But now, well, you weren't at the last show, but at the last show we had a little bit of issue with it, but in general, it's, it is the rule. And as you know, DB Drag likes to remove any of the personal stuff out of it. So it's not the judge guessing whether the song's legit or not. Hey, the computer tells you it's legit or not.
Yeah. So when I first heard about, and this, I never played songs when I did my my bass racer Top Dog. I always did like Boom Check 13 or whatever it was, right? So I never did the songs. What I did think was kind of like, that kind of sucks. was all the people that were playing like Thug Motivation or songs, right? And then they couldn't use them anymore.
Yep.
So to me, I was kind of like, well, that's kind of screwed, because if that's what you're used to and you were winning and you got your stuff dialed in, like now that don't work. But like I said, if a rule changes, what are you going to do? You could voice your opinion, but ultimately, if the rule sticks, hey, you got to roll with the punches and learn how to do it with the boom check now.
Yes.
And if next year you can't use boom check, you got, hey, guess I got to learn how to do it with this now, you know?
Yep. Brett Barber chiming in, saying hi. What's up, guys? Hey, Brett.
What up, Brett?
Brett's another one of the good guys out here on the West Coast. Supports a lot of stuff.
Another guy that, you know, is in it for the right reasons and humble as hell and good guy.
Yep. All right. Let's get to the fun one now. Let's start talking about Top Dog.
Top Dog. You know, one day Dave Bradshaw is going to win, but it's I don't know when, you know, I had to step back, but you know, my hat's off to him, man, for always trying, doing his best. He tried his little heart out, you know, but no, I'm just giving him a hard time. I loved doing Top Dog with him for the longest time. He was like that. He's probably one of my favorite guys, you know, doing Top Dog. There's some heavy hitters with it that are surgical, but man, going with him, it was always fun. We always, I was kicking his ass in the beginning, right? And then there was this like little grudge with us because I was always winning. And then then what did he do? Bought a term lab. And he was practicing every night, bullshitting. And then he was practicing and he was started stomping on my ass. And then I was like, okay, I'm getting my term lab. So I got the term lab. I was so nervous going against him. And he knew it, right? That when we pulled in the lane, when we pulled into the lanes, I would put my blinders on and act like I didn't know who was next to me. I swear to you, sometimes I didn't even read the screen. I would not read that guy's name over here because I need to focus, you know. So Dave Bradshaw is one of those guys that for a while I didn't want to hear he was pulling in. I knew it was, but I'd block him out. And then at the end, me and him just had fun with it. We would pull up, we'd go like this, you know, we're all right, sucker, I got you. But I gotta say, he's probably the funnest one out of all of them. And it's funny because we didn't start off on the best of notes, but then we became really, really good friends. So yeah, shout out to him and Team Send It, man. And they always helped out with stuff that I was doing, you know, and vice versa. So shout out to them. They're tearing it up out there.
No, Team Send It's doing great.
Yeah.
Okay, so tips, tricks, anything?
You know, it's kind of the same thing as base race as far as tips and tricks. Make sure your song's on point, your volume's on point, frequency, all that good stuff. Only with the Top Dog, and now I've doing it only 2.5 years. I still get the damn shit messed up with. There's several times I thought I won and was like, wait a minute, I didn't win, because it's on a point system. So you could think you're top shit all the way till like halfway through, and next thing you know, you're on the bottom. You know, so it is a point system.
Lost half your points, right? All of a sudden, they're just poof, gone.
Yeah, they're just gone. And I'm probably going to mess this up because I still, like I said, it was still hard for me to understand. Mm-hmm. So correct me if I'm wrong here.
Okay.
Don't bust out. And if you tie, don't bust out because you lose half your points, right? That's where you screw up, is if you tie and you out, or is it vice versa?
If you tie and lose.
If you tie and lose, then you wanted to bust out. That way you didn't lose half your points.
Because if you bust out before you tie, so say you're in one of the final rounds and you need to tie to get the other guy's half of the other guy's points, right? You do not want to bust out, because it's easy to tie a bust out because you just bust out too, and they both bust out, and there's your tie.
Right.
And so there goes half your points, right?
Yeah. So as you know, like all the time doing Top Dog, even though it's my favorite one, is I just tried to focus, and that's where Dave Bradshaw would get my ass, is because he really understands Top Dog with a lot of the other guys. Mm-hmm. And that's when I would lose due to points. So I just focused on getting the 39.9, where these guys really knew I ain't even got to get that. I just got to do this and that, and I'll whoop Lucky's ass because I'll get his points. You know, so many times I would have won if I would have just understood the full concept of it. Going against Frankie Smith one time is when I learned that. Mm-hmm. I won, and then I was told, don't tie him and you'll win. Well, what I thought that meant was don't get a 139.9 and him get a 139.9, right? So my dumb ass, I go, well, I'll just get like a 132 something or a 139.1 and just stop. So I can only imagine what's in Frankie Smith's mind is just, what the hell? He's stopping right here. Okay, I'll just stop right there too. Instead, I should have been just jumping all over the place, you know, not busting out, but just going all over the board to where we can tie. But I took it as just don't tie, man. Don't do the same number as him. So I made it easy for Frankie Smith to win that round. I was like, I got out of the car and he goes, I created this game, man. Like, you know, I got it. So yeah. So if you ever hear don't tie, it doesn't mean get the exact same number, 39.9 or 29.9. It just means period. Don't tie with the same number as them. Yeah.
Yeah. So so the mistakes fall along the same lines, right? So you were making the mistakes of, you know, you shouldn't tie, and you did.
Yeah. Right.
Right.
Yeah. And like I said, that as long as it follows with base race 2, make sure your volume and all that stuff's in order before you get going, because that's probably the number one thing you see is, fuck, I didn't turn on my song, you know, or I had the volume down, you know, or my bass knob was all the way down, you know. That's the main ones you see is just operator error, you know what I mean? It wasn't that they just legit, you know, didn't make the cut. My stuff was off or whatever.
Dave Bradshaw says, hey, he loves you too, bro. He posted up in the comments. Tonko Moya saying he'll be back next season with the Panda.
Who said that?
Tonko.
Oh, Tonko. Yeah. What up, Tonko?
Tonko's watching. So with Top Dog and Base Race, what I love about that, so Top Dog lets you go all the way down to 119.9, and you can have your vehicle vented, right? So you can doors open, whatever. But what's the problem when you open your doors?
Yes, you're gonna. So there's an old. So I don't know if I should say this or not or what. It's whatever, but like, I've heard of people or maybe seen people when they're doing like a lower class, right? 29 is low. And the guy next to them busted, they fling their door open and crank it because that pressure is going to hit their car and make them bust out.
Not saying, but I may have seen that before.
I've seen doors swung open on me several times and I'd just be like, damn it. Yeah. But luckily I was in the 9 class, but I've seen people attempt it, you know, but I was in the 139. So it's harder. You better be in the high classes to you know, disrupt the 39.
But you can go all the way down to 119.9 in Top Dog, right? So what I always tell people is you could probably do Top Dog with a decent stock stereo system and be nationally competitive, right?
Yeah.
So that, you know, that's what I love about Top Dog and Base Race. It doesn't take the money to enter the competition scene is almost nothing really in the big scheme of things, right?
Yeah.
So Ricky Garcia.
Yeah, if you stick with like a top base race.
Yep. Go ahead.
You froze up there for a second. What was that?
You
froze up. What was that?
You're bouncing around on freezing. I said Ricky Garcia's posted in here. So just him and Tonko going a little back and forth, calling each other out. But like you said.
Oh yeah.
Nationally competitive. You can, you can be almost the barrier to entry is almost non-existent, right?
Yeah, and then that's the coolest thing with those two classes. You know, with DB drag, you got to keep moving up. You got to keep building your system. You got to upgrade. It's constant money. So at Top Dog and base race, you could just stay where you're at the whole time. You know, if you get whatever you're going to get to hit the number you want, you're done. And you're not going to blow your system. You know what I mean? You're not going to like blow your windshield out, you know, unless you're like doing a 49, 59 or whatever the hell it is. Yeah. But as long as you're playing in lower numbers, man, you could, I mean, what did Nyman have the same system in his truck for 58 years or something like that?
No, he puts in like single tens, 4 8s, 2 6.5s. I mean, he's constantly changing stuff. So
really, because I thought he said that he never touched nothing in that what's that wagon he's got or whatever. He said that's been the same setup for the last 38 and a half years or 40 years or something.
No,
I swear to you, that's what he told me. Is he was like, dude, I haven't changed nothing. So he always. Now I know recently he's been messing with new stuff. I know that, but you know, months back when I was in all of it, I could have. He told me that he hasn't changed nothing. Maybe he was bullshitting. I guess I don't know.
Yeah,
but that's what he said.
Yeah, he's had some pretty cool systems in that Tahoe.
Okay.
Different things. Like I said, he's had 6.5s in there sometimes. He's had 8s. I've seen 15s in there. I think I've even seen 18s in that thing. But anyway, like I said, that's all cool. But like I said, my favorite part about base race and Top Dog is the barrier to entry. The dollar amount it costs to be able to compete is so minimal. I think that is the greatest thing.
Yeah.
Along with the simple fact that you could be a first-time competitor.
You could win money.
Well, that's only for my shows, right? That's only for the West Coast. It's not something they do all over the world. But, dude, some guy who's never played before can come in and beat you, who's won it countless times. Dave Bradshaw counted countless times. You know,
it's like no bullshit. It's probably happened to me personally, probably 6-7 times, where a new guy who's never done it before didn't even have a bass knob. I don't know if you remember Lil J.
Yep.
No bass knob. He was using just his volume, and he fucking beat me. And that happened to me probably 6 times, 7 times maybe. And I'd be like, damn it, Doug, quit telling me to teach these people this. You know.
And that's the same with Monte Carlo, right? He uses the volume knob on his factory deck.
Yeah. Yep. Hey, I mean, the bottom line is this. You could learn it anyway, and if you learn it, you got it.
Yep.
You know? So if you're learning with the bass knob and you've never used a bass knob and you learn with your volume, you're going to be just as good. You're learning it that way. I bet the guy, if the guy who's doing it with this volume, I bet if you threw him a bass knob, he might not be as good because he learned with the volume, you know?
But I do believe when you learn how to do it, you can do it. And the example is, how many times have you seen me jump in somebody's car and say,
I can't count them. And mind blowing. There's been you and probably 2 other people that I've seen that were like, oh, he can't do it. You mainly. Watch this. I've never been in your car before. I don't even know your system. Here, start that, you know, and bang, you're there, or you're like a 10th off. And to be able to do that in a vehicle you don't even know what's in his system, you don't know if he's on the right track or anything. I mean, that says a lot, you know? So, yeah.
Dave Bradshaw says, stop teaching them. Lucky McGovern's classic comment.
Hey, yeah.
Sean Scott says his girl won. So I mean it happens, right? The other thing is Frankie Smith. Remember, he just visited us from out of town at a show, and
that's when he beat me.
Yeah, and he just says, "I don't have a car." What? You know what? Who's got a car? I think it was Andy Caps or something like that.
I thought he had a rental. I thought he got a rental or something like that.
No. He borrowed somebody's car that was just there to demo.
Okay, gotcha.
And he didn't even practice beforehand, pulled into the lanes and went top dog.
Yeah. Yeah, he's good, you know.
Yeah.
One of the guys.
Yeah. So
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. I was gonna say, man, huge shout out, dude, to Team Flex Tissues. Huge shout out to Team Flex Tissues. Those guys are really awesome. Mm-hmm. They're solid. They're a small group, but they're, you know, I learned a lot about teams, you know, along the way. I've learned, man. And I'll tell you what, there are things that I thought should be different or should be better or worse or whatever the hell it is. And I really, now stepping back from everything, mm-hmm. I'm like, man, Flex Issues had it right the whole fucking time. They had it right. Them guys are good. They're competitive, heavy numbers, solid.
How about Christopher?
Solid. Christopher who?
The Kyle's kid.
Oh yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, awesome, dude. Awesome. Yeah, sick. I don't know what he was metering or anything like that, but that was like
power wheels, though. So don't.
Yeah, power wheels. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, but that's mm-hmm. awesome. I think it's so cool when you see people bring their kids and their family along with them, and then to have your kid get into it. Unfortunately, you know, my kids aren't into it. You know, I bring my son to like Surf City and CES, mm-hmm. but this ain't his thing. And, you know, that was one of the reasons that, you know, I kind of stepped back, was like, how much longer am I going to stay away from my kids? You know, I competed so heavily, and my whole head, heart, and soul was into this, that I stopped taking my kid to skate park, you know, because the weekends I'm going to a show, the next day I'm burnt out. During the week, there's school, you know, work, whatever, you know. And so to the people that their family are into it, man, it's just awesome that they go, they support them and get involved. Dude, Jake Bridges, you know, with Rick his daughter, Garcia. You know, and she got the,
Rick Garcia and Ricky Garcia, you know?
Yeah.
Out of Fresno.
So, yeah. Thing. So, you know, that, I think that's awesome. I think that should hopefully gets bigger.
DB Life, right?
Yes.
DB Life family thing.
Yep. I support DB Life 100%, man. I think it's an awesome name. I think it's going to do very, very well. Make sure to check them out. Isaiah, mm-hmm. And Akaya. Yeah. I think that brand's going to do really good. Really good.
Yeah. I hope so too. All right. Cool, and so where are you at now? What are you doing? Tattoos?
Yeah, I've always tattooed. You know, I can't tell you how much money I've saved, like, you know, focus on my priorities. You know what I mean? When I got into the whole competition thing, you know, don't get me wrong, I still tattooed. I still put what I could into my tattoos. But, you know, now it's tattooing, you know, and yeah. So I'm stepping back from doing car audio. I can't say I'll never come back because nobody knows the future. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I could say right now that I think it was the right move. It was putting a lot of stress on me in multiple ways. So as far as coming back, I don't know. Mm-hmm. I'd like to say no, but nobody knows the future. You know what I mean? So like I did before I quit, and like a week later I regretted it. Right as of right now today, I really strongly believe I made the right move for myself.
That's good. So what do you so you're tattooing at
the Pirates Lounge Tattoo Parlor in Stockton, California. Yeah, you could check out us on Instagram, the Pirates Lounge Tattoo Parlor, or my personal Instagram, Lucky_McGovern. Check us out on Google, check out our work there too, whatever. We're the top rated shop in a wide area. And I've been there for 4 years, over 4 years now. I was the one who originally owned it and opened it in 2016 and been there. But that's also the first shop that I started working at back in 99, 2000. So came full circle. Yep. So that's where I'm at.
Just so you know, Dave Bradshaw just posted, Team Send It Lucky McGovern sounds good to him.
Team Send It Lucky McGovern? No.
That's hilarious.
And I appreciate it. I just, right now, I'm really enjoying life right now, man. I really am. I'm enjoying life. I'm a lot less stressed. I go too hard in anything I do. I go 110%, 120 miles an hour, and what I'm doing now is right. Yeah.
Okay, so that's good. So we're at Pirates Lounge in Stockton for tattoos. You can catch you out on Instagram, also on Facebook, and anywhere else.
Wilson Way on Saturdays at around 2:00 in the morning. No, I'm playing.
That's
No, yeah, just my Instagrams, Google, Facebook. Everybody knows my Facebook.
And just so you guys know, if you guys were looking to get tatted up by Lucky, right now he's out about 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks.
I'm out till May.
So yeah, so he's out till May right now. But you know, if you want to support a basehead type, you know, buddy, you know, definitely look into Lucky McGovern for tattoos. Anybody else you want to put some shout outs to for sponsors along the way or anything?
You know, there's a lot. First and foremost, man, a big shout out to you. You've always been there to help me throughout all my stuff. Always there to give me good advice. And I do mean from beginning until the end. Second off, I would have to say Rusty Flowers and DC Audio. Hands down, I've never brand bashed. So any rumors or crap that went around, you know, I heard somebody say something. They met me at a show and I told them they weren't wearing a DC uniform, so I couldn't talk to them. That's crap. I've never brand bashed. But DC Audio, huge shout out to DC Audio, Rusty Flowers. You know, there's a lot. Steve Mead, JP from Down for Sound, shitting on him, Hammy and Steve Barber. You know, let's see here. Daniel Kramer, Rocky foremost, man. A big show, and I told them they weren't wearing a DC uniform, so I couldn't talk. Bridgetown, Barbados. I'm trying so hard right now. Like, I was caught off guard with that one. Trying to make sure DB Life, Wayne and Solis, obviously. The list goes on. I'm probably forgetting, and if I did, I'm truly sorry. But there's been a lot of people. I was really blessed with a lot of people that helped me out. There was a time when I did so much that I damn near went broke. Like, I was just putting so much out there and focusing on that. And when that happened, a lot of people reached out to me and actually helped me out, and, you know, either let me make payments on something to get my stuff back, or just gave me something to get back in the game. Mm-hmm. And a huge shout out to anybody that's followed me and watched the Basehead Diaries and supported me in what I was doing. I said from the jump when I came into this, I'm going to leave my fucking mark in this. I didn't have an intention on getting out of it or causing any drama or any of that, but I did know I would leave my mark in this game, and I feel I've done that. Love me or hate me, I have left my mark in this game. I hope the best for it. If I could give any advice to new people coming into the game, or even people who's been in the game, learn from me, my mistakes. Stay humble as you can. Stay humble. Enjoy the hobby, sport, lifestyle, whatever you want to call it. Enjoy it. Don't bring drama. I fell into that trap myself. So I'm saying this because I've made those mistakes. So there's some people right now are going to see this and go, well, you did this, that, and the other. It's exactly what I'm trying to say right now to the new people. Stay humble. Don't listen to the bullshit rumors. Who cares? Do it for the fun of it. And don't join a team the day you start competing. If you're going to join a team, hang around those people for a good amount of time and make sure that those people you click with well, you get along with, and you're all there for the right reason. Mm-hmm. I see a lot of people do the team thing, grab anybody and everybody and get 30 million people, and then it's a train wreck, you know? So just take your time, have fun, and keep it fun.
Yep, I would agree with that. All right, guys, I'm glad we got to talk with you, Lucky. We're well over the hour mark. As you know, the hour goes really quick when you're enjoying the back and forth.
Yeah.
Shoot. Anyway, so I do appreciate that. I believe I had CJ DeWitt scheduled for next Monday, but We may change that up, and I may do CJ DeWitt on Thursday of next week because I will be out of town for a while. And like I said, so we may have Andrew McCain on Monday. So ignore the outro.
Awesome dude, man. Gary Killian, I love you. Gary Killian, I love you. Andrew McCain, man, I love you. You guys were awesome. And also, I will be in Vegas from the 28th until the 2nd of April. So any base heads out there that want to hang out or whatever, I shouldn't even say that because I'm going to be with the family, but anybody wants to say what's up, I talked to JP. I'm going to roll by there, say what's up to him and the fam out there. But I will be out there, and I am going to have my tattoo equipment with me. So hit me up.
No problem. All right, cool, guys. Well, we are going to hit the outro. Please ignore it because it says Lucky McGovern, and I'm dumb and forgot to update it before I hit it. So, once again, hey, thank you for tuning in. I'm posting this stuff on YouTube shortly. After that, it will be, I'm going to download it and I'm going to post it as a downloadable audio only broadcast. Hey, Lucky, thanks again for being here.
Absolutely.
I'm going to hit the outro. So, guys, once again, tune in next Monday. I believe we're going to have Andrew McCain. And then the following Thursday, we'll have CJ DeWitt, which is known as The Guy. We got our upcoming show, which is April 18th. Up in Sacramento will be our next show for Sonic FX. Okay, guys, we'll see you shortly. And we're out.
Later.